Are you into everything anti-aging? Maybe you like to buy skincare that has anti-aging claims. Maybe you like to put things on that lighten dark spots on your skin, or you all around want to have things that plump the face, get rid of wrinkles, and you want to look better. I get it.
What about foods that support us as we age? Something like ginger can be supportive of so many body systems. I like to think of ginger as, well, pro-aging. I'm not always a fan of the word anti-aging. Pro-aging is where it's at for me. And if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to talk about how I might use this ginger tea as a mouth spray.
So while we could debate the entire concept of superfoods, are foods really that super? This one little thing is really hitting home for me when it comes to eating something, drinking something, putting something in my body that's actually anti-aging. And what I'm talking about is ginger. I promised in my last video about oral health that I would make a simple ginger tea here with you, but I also want to talk about why I think this is an awesome, easy thing for anti-aging.
If we've not met before, my name's Tanya, and if we have, thank you for coming back.
I love discussing health tips in menopause that leave us feeling vital with a great sense of well-being and that hopefully are simple and that make sense to most of us without restriction, without restrictive diets. Now, if this sounds like a chat that you might want to have on a regular basis, then hit the bell, hit the notification, subscribe to my channel, and let's hang out. If you're thinking, are you kidding me? I really don't want to make tea when I can go to the store and buy tea. Yes, you can. You can go to the store and buy dried tea that comes in a bag. You can put it in a little tea ball, a tea strainer. You can also buy a tea bag. I still have tea bags in my kitchen. I am trying to phase them out because they are single-use plastic. Nonetheless, I still have a few. Now, before we get into cooking up some tea in the kitchen here, I gotta say, first, anti-aging. I am not going back to trying to be who I was at 25.
I'd go back to my 40s in a heartbeat, though.
But what I am trying to do is really embrace things that will make me feel vital and alive and have some health properties and that are easy as I go through my 50s, 60s, and beyond. And if you are here wanting to turn the clock back, I totally get it. I do. I love YouTube as well, but this is for education, information, and conversation. It's not medical advice. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about ginger and make a tea.
Let's get this tea rolling. I don't want to be the kind of person who keeps talking when I'm supposed to be doing something else. And I feel like that's what I'm doing. So I have a whole bunch of ginger that I've popped in the sink here, and we are going to get it rinsed. Sometimes your ginger can be really dirty, and I'm going to show you that in just a sec. So I do rinse my ginger. This is organic, and I'm not going to peel it. You absolutely can peel your ginger. I happen to get organic ginger this time at a really affordable price, so I'm not going to peel it. A lot of these pieces look clean, but some of them could be questionable. So I'm going to take them apart and brush some of the dirt off.
I have a toothbrush for everything, folks. We bend the handles. You get into nooks and crannies in the bathtub. That's not what this one's for. You can use it for cleaning veggies. It works like a charm.
Oh, and one other thing. If you have not heard of a mindful tea practice, I'm going to be bringing a video to you talking about this very easy practice and really my perspective of how I come at it as a type A, go individual who has embraced mindfulness. Chilling out with tea is actually one really easy way to start a mindful eating journey, just by giving yourself that space to tap into what you're feeling in that moment. And tea is a beautiful ritual to do that. Tea to me always signals a break in my day no matter what is going on. And that's how I like to use it. Drop a note in the comments below if you've tried a mindful tea practice, if you've heard of it, if you find this intriguing, or you are like, ho hum, no thank you.
I've made this a few times, and each time I make it, I do it a little bit differently. But basically, you'll see some recipes that ask you to grab like an inch or so knob of ginger and slice it thin. I've made it with a ton and made it so spicy because the longer you leave it in the water, the spicier it gets. But you want to slice your ginger really thin. You don't always want to peel it, but you can. If you have organic ginger, you may not want to peel it. And if the peel on the ginger looks questionable, well then take it off.
We'll touch on digestion while I get 4 cups of water ready to boil.
One of the things you're probably super familiar with when it comes to ginger is digestive properties. Maybe you're used to having those little ginger pills when it comes to feeling like you want to barf on a plane or a boat. Been there, done that. Feel like I wrote the novel on that. And maybe you use it in your kitchen in cooking. I mean, ginger is delicious. Raw or cooked, salad dressings, all kinds of foods, all kinds of cuisines use ginger. And as a digestive support, I think ginger's awesome. It's antibacterial, it's anti-inflammatory, it's anti-emetic, so that's the nausea, and it's anti-parasitic. Yes. And when we get to this space in menopause, those are things that I would like to have on hand, and you can have them all in one root. It's actually not a root, and I'll get to that. I've seen some small studies where ginger actually breaks up biofilm. And if you don't know what biofilm is, you can go back and watch my oral health video. I've got 4 areas that ginger actually can support when it comes to your oral health. But biofilm is basically a neighborhood of bacteria. One cell decides to stick to a smooth surface, say your tooth, say an implant. It could be an implant in your mouth or an implant in your breast or anywhere else in the body. Like a hip replacement is like a medical device that's implanted in your body. And this is where biofilms can form. So one cell can stick to that smooth surface and other cells come moving in and they secrete this sticky stuff, for lack of a really detailed explanation. I don't want to get too deep here. But what happens is you get like this film, and it's very resistant to antimicrobials and even your own host defenses, aka your immune system. Biofilms are known to be part of the picture of human disease and even bug transmission. They become a reservoir for pathogenic bacteria, which can cause all kinds of quote unquote infections. So I think you'll find that video really helpful if you backtrack and watch it, because I talk about the biofilm in your mouth, which causes a lot of dental issues.
Before I get to the next fact about ginger and anti-aging, I am cutting up a little bit of lemon to put in my ginger concoction here. Now, I have a video about the pros and cons of lemon water. For myself, I don't have any problems or contraindications when it comes to drinking lemon. I don't drink it all day long though and bathe my teeth in acid. Watch the video I have linked in the description if you want to learn more about that. There are alternatives you can add to your ginger concoction. I definitely don't have any kind of mean culinary skills.
Now, another thing that's really important when it comes to ginger, there are some studies that say that it supports pain and inflammation. Now, when I think of midlife, and I can actually feel my knees right now because I've been riding my bike all weekend, I've been cycling a lot, I can feel that my knees do feel uncomfortable and yes, inflamed. So there is evidence that the components of ginger can support pain and inflammation. It is anti-inflammatory. And when you think of all the things that we could potentially have being inflammatory as we age, my goodness, there's tons.
My water is warm. It's getting pretty hot actually. So I'm going to add my lemon and my ginger. You could probably add it at the beginning. You don't have to wait for the water to be warm. I'm going to add it and I'm going to let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes to let the ginger flavor and the lemon flavor really develop. Now you can add way more ginger than this if you like it spicy. You have to experiment and see how you like it. If this does turn out too spicy, don't throw it out, because you can add it to soda water. You can dilute it with regular water. You could put boiling water in it and make a cup of tea, add some honey, and it will be just fine. Yes, this is real life, folks. I really should be cleaning my stove, but I do a lot in my kitchen every day. So sometimes there's a bit of a mess. So this is the point where the water is warming up. We are really smelling the lemon. I love the smell of lemon, and the ginger honestly lends a little bit of spice. I can see boiling this like in the holiday season with some cloves. And now we wait.
Maybe you've heard the word oxidative stress. So this is another area that ginger is really good at supporting in our bodies. So do you know what oxidative stress is? Okay, you might hear a lot about antioxidant foods because antioxidant foods combat oxidative stress. The National Cancer Institute has a definition of oxidative stress. It's an imbalance between too many free radicals in the body, free radical molecules in the body, and antioxidants to combat the oxidation, to detoxify these free radicals. So if we don't have enough antioxidant foods to combat the free radicals that happen in the body, which can be for many reasons, then we have an imbalance. Reasons for this are numerous, but do include like environmental toxins. They're everywhere. Alcohol, tobacco, and long-term oxidative stress may have a role in disease as well.
I think we're done. I'm going to shut this stove off. The simmering is over. You can let it sit and cool and steep for a little bit, or you can just take it to a bowl, a heat-proof bowl, and strain it. And so you can enjoy it hot, you can enjoy it cold. I'm going to store mine in a mason jar, and I'm going to take these scraps and make a sauce out of it. So stay tuned for a YouTube short. I'm going to show you what to do with these scraps and make something delicious.
I'm drinking mine cold right now. Oh, she got some kick.
This is cool to me. There's like 115 different constituents in ginger that contribute to this profile. That's a lot. And I definitely do not claim to know them all, but one of them is gingerol. Gingerol is responsible for the spicy taste on your tongue when you bite down on ginger. There are so many different types of gingerol. They are an active component of the rhizome. Now, I said I was going to identify whether ginger root is really a root, but it's actually a rhizome. Now, a rhizome is like an anchor for the flowering or growing above the ground part of the plant, whereas the root is actually like a sponge. It's going to take in water and take in nutrients. The rhizome actually holds the nutrients, and that's why the ginger rhizome is so important. There are different types of ginger too. There's flowering gingers that you can put in your garden, but the ginger that has the medicinal properties is Zingiber officinale, or depending on what you read or listen to here, it could be Zingiber. I've heard it pronounced Zingiber or Zingiber officinale. Put it in the comments if you know the exact way to pronounce this rhizome.
Can there be too much ginger? Sure, there can. You always have to take into consideration how you feel when you start incorporating foods like this into your diet. How does your stomach feel? Do you get any heartburn? Should you cut out the lemon? Can this interact with medications? This is why I always say check with your healthcare provider if you want to take anything alternative, because herbs are not benign. Ginger is generally safe, but it's always good to check because this is for information and education and conversation.
With ginger being a known saliva stimulant, I might strain this and put it in a little spray bottle and use it in my mouth if my mouth gets any drier in menopause.
While I am sort of iffy on the superfood term, I really don't like hyping things up to be the superhero that can solve absolutely everything. I don't think one food can solve everything, and I don't think one food actually causes a whole bunch of problems. There are more factors to health than just food. However, ginger is going to be on my shelf for the rest of my life, I think, because it really does seem to be a superfood.
So what do you think? Will you make this concoction? I actually just added a little bit of drinking vinegar in there because I've been experimenting with drinking vinegars and making mocktails. Look for an upcoming video on drinking vinegars, and it's delicious. I love to hear what you like to talk about. So pop it in the comments below. Come visit me on Instagram, and all I'm going to say is bye for now.